Kim Kardashian doesn't speak unless she means it, and she definitely doesn't explain herself to the internet.
Upstage the host.
But when people started asking why Meghan Markle and Prince Harry mysteriously disappeared from every Kardashian photo dump after Kris Jenner's birthday bash, Kim made one thing clear behind the scenes. We had to protect the night, and that one sentence opened the floodgates. Because if Kim Kardashian, queen of curated perfection, is hinting that something went wrong, something definitely went wrong. So now, let's rewind back to Kris Jenner's 70th birthday, back to the billionaire mansion, back to the exact moment Meghan and Harry walked into a room that was not ready for them, and back to the actions that pushed Kim and Kris to delete those photos faster than a bad contour tutorial.
And silence from Kris Jenner is louder than
Jeff Bezos' mansion glowing in the hills, dressed up in a James Bond theme so sharp it could cut glass.
She treated the night like a
the whole thing was locked down, tighter than a billionaire's vault.
And that was the final
Phones
straw.
were taken at the door.
Not because Meghan is villainous,
the guest list was guarded like a state secret, and only one photographer was allowed to take pictures.
But because Meghan handled the
because
night
Hollywood
in a way
royalty
that
doesn't do random angles. They do approved moments. This party wasn't just exclusive. It was a whole different planet. A place where every flower petal, every chandelier sparkle, every sip of champagne was part of a master plan. The Kardashians weren't just celebrating Kris.
Kim Kardashian
they were showing everyone why they run Hollywood social circles with an iron manicure. And into this perfectly polished world walked the one couple nobody expected. Because let's be clear, Meghan and Harry's invitation did not fall from the sky into their inbox. It wasn't tied with a cute bow or sealed with Kardashian lipstick.
And that one sentence opened the floodgates.
According to insiders, Meghan and Harry had been pushing for that invite like it was the last golden ticket in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Sources claim Meghan sent texts, she made calls, she followed up, she circled back, she nudged, she just checked in, she reminded. And she allegedly did all of this because one thing about Meghan, when she wants to be in the room, she will try every door. And she didn't stop at doors. She tried connections too. Rumor has it she leaned on Serena Williams, who actually knows Kris, to help grease the wheels and make sure an invitation found its way into her hands. But here's the spicy part. Allegedly, neither Kris Jenner nor Jeff Bezos were thrilled about adding Meghan and Harry to the guest list. Not because they're cruel, but because these hosts run their events like a fine-tuned machine. And Meghan has a reputation for, let's call it, liking attention. Kris doesn't do unpredictable. Bezos definitely doesn't. And Meghan, well, Meghan brings fireworks even when the room didn't order any. So, yes, Meghan fought her way in, and once she got inside,
and into this
perfectly polished world, that's where things go from unexpected to unstoppable.
Because let's be
Remember,
clear,
this wasn't a regular Hollywood party. This wasn't even an A-list party. This was a precision-engineered Kris Jenner supervised, don't even breathe unless it's on brand kind of party.
Meghan and Harry
Phones taken at the door, videos, not a chance, random selfies. Try it and security will look at you like you just committed a felony.
She followed up,
only one man, the official photographer, had permission to capture anything.
And she allegedly
every
did
click
all of
was
this
controlled,
because one thing about
every
Meghan,
angle approved,
when she wants
every
to be
shot
in the room,
meant to be perfect.
She will try every door.
But Meghan,
and she didn't stop at doors. She tried connections too.
Meghan acted like she had hired the man herself. Sources say she worked that photographer like a full-time job. Smile here, turn there. Let me see that.
But here's the spicy
Try
part.
again.
Allegedly, neither Kris Jenner nor Jeff Bezos were thrilled about adding Meghan and
Guests
Harry
were sipping
to the guest
champagne.
list.
Kris was
Not
floating
because
around
they're
like the queen she
but
is.
because these hosts run their
Beyonce-level
events
lighting
like a
was glowing across the
fine-tuned
room.
And Meghan has
And in
a
the middle of all
reputation
this,
for, let's call
Meghan
it,
was posing like the cover
attention.
model of her own magazine.
Kris doesn't do unpredictable.
People inside the party
Bezos
allegedly watched
doesn't.
with raised eyebrows
and Meghan,
because this wasn't her
well,
event.
Meghan brings fireworks.
She wasn't the honoree.
Even when the room didn't
she wasn't
order
even a
any.
confirmed invite
so yes,
until the last
Meghan
second.
fought her way in.
Yet,
and once
she
got
behaved like the
inside,
environment had been
guys,
set up for her.
That's where things go from unexpected
And the wildest
to
part, there was no official agreement.
Remember,
no paperwork.
this wasn't a regular
no
Hollywood
release form
party.
saying she
this
had
wasn't
power
even
over the
an
images.
A-list party.
She
this
just
was
assumed the role
precision-engineered
confidently,
Kris
boldly,
Jenner supervised,
unapologetically.
Don't even breathe unless it's
but
on brand
that
kind of
confidence
party.
was about to backfire
Phones
harder than a
taken at
bad
the door,
hair dryer.
Videos, not a
The night
chance.
wrapped up beautifully.
Random selfies.
The music faded.
Try it in security.
The James
will
Bond
look at you
fantasy
like you just committed
dissolved.
a felony.
Everyone went home
Only
with goodie
one
bags
man,
and memories.
the official photographer,
and
had
Meghan,
permission to
allegedly,
capture anything.
She went home
Every
quite pleased.
click was controlled.
After all, she
Every
had supervised her
angle approved.
photos like a true director.
Every shot meant to be
But
perfect.
then,
But
morning
Meghan,
came. and mourning brought a truth so
Meghan
sharp
acted
it
like
almost
she had hired
sliced
the
the
man
internet in
herself.
half.
Sources say
Kris
she
Jenner's
worked that
party took
photographer
place the
like a
night before
full-time
Remembrance
job.
Day.
Smile here, turn
Now,
there.
if you're not
Let me see
familiar,
that. Try again.
Remembrance Day
Oh,
is one of the
no,
most
not that
serious
angle,
emotional
this one.
days in the United
Guests were
Kingdom.
sipping champagne.
It honors fallen
Kris was floating
soldiers,
around
military
like the queen
families,
she is.
national
Beyonce-level
sacrifice.
lighting was glowing
It is
across
solemn.
the room. And
It
in the
is
middle
sacred.
of all this,
It is a
Meghan
big
was
deal.
posing like the cover model
So,
of her own magazine.
picture this.
People
A
inside
British
the party
prince and
allegedly
his wife
watched with
smiling,
raised
laughing,
eyebrows. Because this
posing
wasn't
like they
her
were at a
event.
glamorous
She
movie
wasn't the
premiere,
honoree. She
hours
wasn't even
before
a
a day
confirmed
meant for
invite until
silence,
the last
respect,
second.
and remembrance.
Yet she behaved like the environment
Sources
had
said the
been set
panic
up
hit
for her.
Meghan and Harry
And the
like a
wildest
bucket of
part,
ice water.
there was no official
The kind that
agreement,
wakes you
no
up,
paperwork,
shocks you,
no release form
and knocks the
saying
wind
she
out
had
of you all
power
at
over
once.
the images. She just
Suddenly
assumed the
those
role
pictures Meghan had been
confidently,
approving all
boldly,
night.
unapologetically. But
absolutely
that
not.
confidence was about
They
to
were now a
backfire
problem.
harder than a bad
A very,
hair
very
dryer.
big one, because
The night
optics
wrapped
matter,
up
especially when you're a
the music
prince,
faded,
especially
the
when the
James
world
Bond
still
fantasy
watches
dissolved.
everything you do.
Everyone went home
And
with
especially
goodie
when you have
bags and
critics waiting for you to
memories.
slip.
And Meghan,
So what did Meghan
allegedly
do?
she went home
She did
quite
what anyone in a
pleased.
PR
After
nightmare
all,
would do.
she had supervised
She
her
panicked.
photos like a true
Sources claimed the
director.
tone flipped
But then
instantly.
morning came. And
Last night
morning
she was
brought a
checking
truth
angles
so
like a
sharp it
perfectionist.
almost sliced the
This morning
internet
she
in
was
half.
allegedly sending
Kris Jenner's
messages that
party
basically
took place
said
the
delete
night
them.
before Remembrance
All of
Day.
them. Every
Now, if
single
you're not
picture.
familiar, Remembrance
And
Day
here's
is
where
one
the
of the
story
most
takes a
serious
dramatic
emotional days in
Kardashian
the
level
United
turn.
Kingdom.
Kris
It
Jenner,
honors
master
fallen
of image.
soldiers, military
Kim
families,
Kardashian,
national
queen of
sacrifice.
content.
It is solemn.
The entire
it is sacred,
Kardashian
it is a
machine
big
built on
deal.
visuals,
So picture
branding,
this,
and perfect
a British
PR timing.
prince and his wife
And Meghan
smiling,
Markle trying to
laughing,
erase part of their
posing like
event
they were
because
at a
her morning
glamorous
panic
movie
told her
premiere
to.
hours before
Allegedly,
a day meant
Meghan's
for
team
silence,
pushed hard.
respect, and
Take them down.
remembrance.
Remove
Sources
them.
said the panic
Make them
hit Meghan
disappear.
and Harry like a bucket
Like she
of
could
ice
undo
water.
the whole night with
The
a
kind
digital
that wakes
magic
you up,
wand.
shocks you, and knocks
And how
the
did the
wind out of you
Kardashians
all
respond?
at once.
Not with
Suddenly, those
fighting,
pictures
not with
Meghan had been
negotiation,
approving all
not
night.
with drama.
Oh no.
They simply
Oh,
complied.
absolutely not. They were now
But according
a
to
problem,
insiders,
a very,
they were
very
furious.
big one. Because
This was
optics
Kris Jenner's
matter,
night,
especially
her
when you're a
milestone,
prince.
her
Especially when the
celebration,
world still
her
watches
empire
everything
spotlight.
you do, and especially
And suddenly,
when you have critics
Meghan
waiting
was
for you
treating
to
it like a
slip.
mess.
So what did Meghan
She needed
do?
to clean up
She did what
after.
anyone in a PR
Inside
nightmare would
sources
do.
say Kris
She
felt
panicked.
blindsided,
Sources claim the
disrespected,
tone flipped
not because
instantly.
of who Meghan is,
Last night
but because
she was
of the
checking
behavior.
angles like a
The
perfectionist.
Kardashians have rules.
This morning she was
Hollywood has
allegedly
rules.
sending messages that
And
basically
Meghan,
said, delete
she had just
them.
broken several
All of
without
them,
realizing
every
it.
single picture.
But don't worry,
And
the
here's where the
consequences
story
were coming,
takes a
and they were
dramatic
silent but
Kardashian
deadly.
level turn.
If you thought
Kris
the morning
Jenner,
after panic was
master
the
of
peak of the
image.
drama,
Kim Kardashian,
honey,
queen of
that
content.
was just the appetizer.
The entire Kardashian
Because the
machine
Kardashians
built
don't
on
argue,
visuals,
they don't
branding,
rant.
and perfect
They
PR
don't post long
timing.
paragraphs
And
explaining
Meghan
their
Markle,
feelings.
trying to erase
They
part
do
of their
something
event
far more
because her
powerful.
morning panic told her to.
They erase you.
Allegedly, Meghan's
At
team
first,
pushed
Meghan and
hard.
Harry still
Take
showed
them
up in
down,
a few
remove
early
them,
photo
make them
dumps.
disappear.
Kim even
Like she
posted
could
a
undo
cute
the
shot with
whole
Meghan
night
from
with
the
a digital
party.
magic wand.
Harmless,
And how
polite.
did the Kardashians respond?
Standard
Not with
Kardashian
fighting,
courtesy.
not with negotiation,
But then the shift
not
began.
with drama. They
The next
simply
time Kris
complied.
posted highlights,
But according to
Meghan and Harry
insiders,
gone.
they were furious.
Kim dropped another
This
set
was
of photos.
Kris Jenner's night,
Still
her
gone.
milestone, her
More
celebration,
glamorous James
her empire
Bond-themed
spotlight.
memories.
And suddenly
No
Meghan
Meghan,
was treating it like a
no
mess
Harry.
she needed to clean up after.
Not even a background cameo.
Inside sources say Kris
It was
felt
like they had
blindsided,
never stepped foot into
disrespected,
Bezos' mansion.
not because of who Meghan is,
blurred,
but because of the
not
behavior.
cropped,
The
deleted.
Kardashians have rules.
And if you know
Hollywood has
anything about the
rules. And
Kardashians,
Meghan,
you know
she had just
silence is
broken
their
several
version of a
without
warning
realizing
shot.
it.
When they
Don't
start
worry, the
cutting someone
consequences
out
were
of the
coming.
narrative,
And they
it
were
means the
silent,
decision has
but
already
deadly.
been made behind the
If you
scenes.
thought the morning after panic
Word from
was
insiders
the peak
says
of
the vibe was
drama,
clear.
oh honey,
You don't
that
walk
was
into
just
Kris
the
Jenner's event,
appetizer.
cause a mess,
Because the
and walk away
Kardashians
untouched.
don't argue, they
And
don't
Meghan,
rant,
she
they
wasn't
don't
just
post long
touched.
paragraphs
She was
explaining
wiped
their
clean
feelings.
from the memory
They
card.
do something far more powerful, they erase
Let's break
you.
down the invisible rule
At
book
first,
that
Meghan
Meghan
and Harry
accidentally
still showed
stepped all
up
over
a few
because
early
this is the
photo
part
dumps.
nobody
Kim
explains.
even posted a cute
But everyone
shot
in
with
that world
Meghan from the
understands.
party. Harmless,
Hollywood
polite,
has laws,
standard Kardashian
not written on
courtesy.
paper,
But then
not
the
taught
shift
in
began.
school, but
The
everyone
next time
knows them.
Kris posted
And Meghan
highlights,
broke several in
Meghan
one
and
night.
Harry gone.
Rule 1,
Kim
you don't
dropped
crash
another
someone's milestone event.
Still gone.
A 70th birthday for a Hollywood matriarch is basically a royal
Meghan,
coronation.
No Harry,
Rule
not
2,
even a background
you don't
cameo.
upstage the
It was
host,
like they had never
especially not
stepped
Kris
foot into
Jenner,
Bezos'
the woman who
mansion,
literally
not
teaches
blurred,
entire
not
generations how to work a camera.
deleted. And
Rule
if you know
3,
anything about
you
the
don't manipulate the
Kardashians,
optics
you know
of the
silence
event,
is their
controlling the
version of a
photographer
warning
like
shot.
you own the venue,
When they start cutting
automatic
someone out of the
side-eye.
narrative,
Rule
it
4,
means the
you
decision
don't turn
has
the night into
already
your
been made
storyline,
behind
especially
the
when the
scenes.
event already has
Word
its
from
own
insiders
narrative.
says the vibe
Rule
was
5,
clear. You don't walk
you
into
do not
Kris
under
Jenner's
any
event,
circumstances
cause a mess,
disrespect
and
Kris
walk
Jenner
away
quietly or
untouched.
loudly,
And Meghan,
accidentally
she wasn't
or
just
intentionally.
touched, she was wiped
Kris doesn't
clean
run on
from the memory
feelings.
card.
Kris
Now let's
runs
break
on
down
strategy,
the invisible rule book
and when
that
someone
Meghan
disrupts the
accidentally
machine she
stepped
built,
all over,
she
because
responds
this
with
is the part
silence.
nobody explains,
And silence
but
from
everyone
Kris
in that
Jenner is
world
louder than a
understands.
scandal. Insiders say Meghan didn't understand the power structure she walked into. She treated the night like a place to shine instead of a place to honor the host.
Rule 1,
and that was the final straw. Not because Meghan is villainous, not because Chris is cruel, not because Hollywood hates outsiders, but because Meghan handled the night in a way that made people label her as something no one wants around powerful spaces unpredictable.